wishes were baby's legs. Ginger's very favorite. Congratulations, sweetie. You know you can ask me anything. You're so dead. I didn't. Our little girl's a young woman now.
Groovy. Hello, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 3 of the Knife Party Podcast, where we keep it all on the cutting room floor. I am, of course, your illustrious host, Zach Evergreen, and joined with me today is one, the only, Antonius Montana. I should probably hit your button, huh?
What's up, everybody? And how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just very well. And, thank you for coming by.
Yeah?
Talking some Katharine Isabelle awesomeness of Ginger Snaps. Season 3, Episode 3. New logo, same great taste, as we like to say. Be kind and rewind still. And this is brought to you by the Patreons. Patreon.com/KnifePartyPod. Get this.
Okay.
This show costs me money out of pocket.
Yes.
So the Patreons actually help pad that bill, and we are still in the red. We've been in the black like twice, but we're in the red right now. So, but we don't ask for much. All we ask is you pay $5. That's $5 American dollars, because I got 5 kids to feed, to patreon.com/KnifePartyPod. And there, not only do you get Knife Party Pod early and often, not on Sundays, but on Wednesdays, you also get Slimework Radio Weekly, or Slimework X as we're calling it now, because we have no idea what season we're in, because we've been doing it for 15 plus years. You also get Knife Party After Dark, where we're actually going to review, or watch along rather, we're going to do Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's go.
It's going to be awesome. With my axe. In my bow.
You beat me to it.
Well, you could have said my sword and been all like cute and shit. But anyway, yeah, there's certain things we cannot air on a free feed, especially when watch-alongs and such. So that's why we do it on Knife Party After Dark. Also being said, Knife Party After Dark is usually when I've had a little bit too much drink, or maybe we had a little bit too much smoke, a little Laffy Taffy, you know how it is. You know, it's good times. And also we have, of course, Midnight Ramen. Midnight Ramen is our gamer crazy
Nerd show.
It makes every vagina clam up whenever they hear the Midnight Ramen. They go.
Except nerd vagina.
Except for nerd vagina, they go. Something like that. So, anyway, thank you very much. Now, I got to mention this because this is a true story. So, I was walking home with this great beer I got. This is my favorite beer. This is North Coast Brew Co. Rasputin Stout.
Yeah.
I'm walking, and this black dude in his giant truck pulls up, and he goes, "Hey, man." I go, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Like on my way home, right? Mm-hmm. And he goes, "You all right?" I go, "I'm doing great." And he goes, "What you got there?" And I go, "This is North Coast Brew Co. Rasputin. I got it at Caps and Cork." Caps and Cork on the borderlands of Vallejo, California, and Napa. Let's say you are sick of red wine and you want some good brew, especially during the winter. During the winter, don't you want some more stouts, some more imperials, some more like belly filling beers?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to go to Caps and Cork. They got you. Let's say if you're in Vallejo and you're tired of fentanyl and all the other drugs they have, go to Caps and Cork and just drink some beer and chill out. Anyway, also we have the $20 Stop the Bike, and that's where you get to not only be on the show, you get to request shows, you get to stop the bike and go, hey, Zach, you haven't reviewed this, do it. And that's the only way that Star Wars will ever get reviewed, because I refuse to do it, because fuck that movie. But anyway, there it is. But today we are talking Ginger Snaps, and we were going to do a watch along, or not a watch along. We were going to do a watch and then review, but you just watched it last night. I just watched it 3 times in this month.
Yeah.
And so we said, fuck it. We're not going to watch it and review it. We're just going to review it. And also we did have, like I said, other plans going on. So we are going to do an After Dark where we do a watch along of Fellowship of the Ring. So for those who don't know, the Lord of the Rings series is the most watched series in December. Over everything. It is the main Christmas movies, which is crazy.
Because there is no Jesus there.
Well, there is. You have no, you getting off the white is kind of Jesus-y.
Kind of Jesus-y.
He died for your sins. He comes back. But anyway, so we're going to be doing all these. They might all not be watch-alongs. They might be watch-alongs. We don't know. But we're going to start out with a watch-along because that's how we roll. We might go, hey, we're going to do a full review of Return of the King, but not this. But but right now, we decided that the first one is going to be an After Dark.
Yeah.
Cool. So, but let's go to Ginger Snaps. So, Ginger Snaps came out in the year 2000. It is what I would say. Oh, and by the way, I tried to do my due diligence and get making of and everything else. I couldn't find that much.
Yeah, well, this is definitely more of like a cult movie sort of thing.
Definitely a cult movie.
Yeah.
And I think this is what put my girl, Katharine Isabelle, on the map.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, it was either this or Freddy vs. Jason. What do you think?
Ooh.
Because, I mean, they both came out.
I mean, this was the reason why she was able to do Freddy vs. Jason.
So she was a unknown Canadian actress before this. Get this, dude. This got a 90 on the Tomatoes meter.
Wow.
And then Popcorn meter, which is their new thing, which means the audience score, 78%, which I think is fucking low.
I mean, honestly, it feels a little low.
Yeah, I think it's low too. What would you give this? Because I'm going to give this. I'm thinking, okay, it's going to get a Katharine Isabelle bump, but the great effects in this movie that are all practical and I like her transformation so much. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I like the effects. I like everything about it. I like one of the greatest things is the opening scene where they show their death pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
So cool. I'm going to give this a 93.
Okay. I was going to give it a solid 85.
85. Okay.
Yeah.
Little low. I'm going to try to convince you to up that score, but why an 85? Tell me where you came to 85. Now, remember, the budget of this movie and also the cast, they had a very slim cast on this. And also, but yeah. Tell me why you came to 85.
I mean, 85, just because it is, it's a bit cheesy, and I mean, most of the effects are good, but some of them it's kind of like, especially when you get towards the end. Like some of that is just like, oh, wow. Was kind of hoping for a little bit more out of it, but...
Speaking of practical effects, did you know that Katharine Isabelle is able to start fires like watch this shit.
Not just in my pants?
Yeah, watch this.
Oh, wow.
Shouts out to Nick.
I don't know what. God damn it. She fucking rules my life. I love this lady.
Don't you have like a special message for her?
I do. Katharine Isabelle, give me a call at 707-373-0560. I get more fucking spam mail, I think, from anyway, my goal is to have her on the show, and my wife is so upset. She goes like, You want to have sex? I'm like, I'm not that powerful. I do not have that. And look at me.
But that show will take place in a hotel room and not at your house.
it with a microphone and me just going, that was awesome. Remember the time that you did that? That was awesome.
You're going to totally fangirl, aren't you?
Dude, I would fangirl. There is no way I could ever pursue her sexually. It's just like, I'd be like, can I put my hand on yours? It's not.
We're going steady now.
Can we go steady? This is make me like a half Canadian. So anyway, I'm going to give you the small amount of notes that I had.
Yeah.
So get this: the producer of the movie was the mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the mom,
Okay.
and this was
I like the mom a lot.
the all-female script, all-female produced, male did direct, but this was like really they wanted to be, this is like how hard it is. You know, this is why I say this is like the female version of Lost Boys, and I said that about The Craft.
Yeah.
But The Craft is
I mean, that's definitely more than this movie.
yes.
But yeah.
No, I'm with you on that. I say The Craft is a better movie.
Yeah.
It is. The Craft is a great fucking movie, and it is teenage female angst with a supernatural plot.
Right.
I don't think you can get better than The Craft. I
haven't seen it yet.
I think we gave The Craft, what did we give The Craft, 96?
Yeah, it was way up there.
It-
96, 97, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that. I've given this 93, and the reason why I give it 93 is that there is some there is some jumbling in this movie, which you know it's not great. It's really good, but then when you watch a lot of movies after that came after this, for example, you've never seen the movie Dead Girl.
No.
So Dead Girl borrows a lot from this.
Oh, okay.
And Dead Girl is one of the darkest movies I've ever seen. It's like Serbian Film is number one, and then Dead Girl, and then Human Centipede.
Ugh. Okay.
So I always say the three movies you never see, and everyone's seen Human Centipede, but what I meant by Human Centipede is part two, not part one.
Oh,
part two.
yeah, part two.
Part two is
Never
fucking.
seen it.
Yeah,
Not
don't.
gonna bother.
No, don't. I just say don't. It's not worth your time. It's an all shock value thing.
Yeah.
Right. Same with Serbian Film. Dead Girl, however, is worth your patience because it is a very good film, but it's one of the darkest films you'll see. Serbian Film, and I would even go to the fact to say, okay, Serbian Film makes Hostel look rated R when Hostel wasn't rated R. It was Dead Girl is where Hostel is because it is it's not torture porn because the girl's dead.
Yeah.
But it's very, very dark, and it's very. I don't know. Do you consider raping a zombie rape?
I mean, that's a good question.
That's kind of what that movie asks you,
Yeah.
and then because the main character decides to free her at the very end, and then it goes banana. And it all goes bad.
Yeah, because my first instinct on that question is like, yes, it's still like a rape scene, you know.
But not
She
if
may
it's
be a zombie, but it's still like a rape scene.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of what Dead Girl is. And then Human Centipede is like surgical rape. Hostel is torture porn. And then, but I don't know how we got here, but I do know how we got here. So what I was saying is like this movie is a movie you should watch, and it's not like on those lists of, oh, these movies are so dark you have to watch it to watch, you know, because
No, this movie's definitely not on that level.
no,
Like,
it's not.
This movie has like some moments, but like overall, like it's not nearly as like dark as those.
So I will like to. Oh no, I knew I was doing that. So Katharine Isabelle, after this, did, of course, Freddy vs. Jason, which we all remember.
Yeah.
But then American Mary, which a lot of people, it's a hard watch for them. In fact, Rob, who used to be on the show, Dragula, hated it. And I thought it was, and he just didn't like the idea of a female surgeon taking revenge on her professor doctor and trying out all these surgeries. Because
I mean, that's dark, but that's also a cool idea.
Yeah, it's a great revenge thing.
Yeah.
So you never seen American Mary?
No.
Okay, we might have to do American Mary then.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think Rob gave it a bad call, and I did, and he was trying to talk me out of not liking it the whole time, and I'm like, you can't talk me out of not liking this movie. But he did a goddamn good job. But he goes, well, the pacing's bad. I'm like, well, I don't think the pacing's bad. I think that you shat on it so much that you couldn't get to the next gear. Kind of thing.
Right. You pigeonholed yourself.
Yeah.
And now you just can't enjoy it.
Maybe also too, because I talked it up as much. Okay, so all right. Let's the last of my fun facts is the mom helped produce this and helped co-write it. Katharine Isabelle actually played herself, but pro wrestling. Now get this: whenever a pro wrestler is like golden, let's say Stone Cold Steve Austin, let's say The Rock, let's say Chris Jericho, they always go, I'm being myself but pumped up that volume. Katharine Isabelle said that she was playing herself pro wrestling.
Okay.
So she was like, I am myself, this is what I would actually do in this situation. Pumped up to like pro wrestling volume because I'm a werewolf.
Crazy. Okay. I mean, that's kind of neat. Like, oh, that's really you? Say less.
So, right? All right. So that's all my fun facts. Let's go into the review. I'm going to throw on some music. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So, so the movie starts off, and it's a great opening scene where you see these two girls and their sisters.
Yeah.
The Fitzgerald sisters, I think their names are. And they're doing all these suicide like photos.
Yeah.
For their death.
Well, they were like death photos. There was some suicide, but it's like one of them, like she's impaled on a fence.
That's Katharine Isabelle, and she's flipping off the camera.
Right,
Yeah. and then we have like one underneath the car and one doing this. And great opening credit scene. Like, I remember when I first watched this, I'm like, wow, this movie is so cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what movie does this?
No, I mean, none.
And then
I wish more did.
And it turns out that there's just these two goth sisters that are just so morbid, and the Fitzgeralds as they are, and they're sitting in class watching their own work as they have these like skull pens and stuff, and just like everything about them could not be more Zach. Like every time I watch this, okay, B's not my, obviously I love Kathy, but
so this really, like, you connected with it because you too have a lot of teenage girl angst.
Dude, dig. I always talk about we're going to make a movie someday.
Yeah.
I remember in art class, Jonathan Fallon and I made a movie, and we watched it in class.
Yeah.
And it was really cheesy and creepy.
Okay.
It had like fake blood and stuff in it. And like, like there was even a katana and then my head went flying, and there was a fake head. And then I remember there was like a resurrection spell where like Jonathan put like a typo negative CD and a scarf into a wok and like turned on the heat and then put my head back on, and then we did the like cut. Yeah. No, I'm not even kidding, dude.
Oh, wow.
And he did it right before this was Jonathan, and their relationship was Jonathan and Mai's relationship in real life. Like let's make some cool fucking horror movies. Now, before this even came out, like Jonathan wanted to go before he wanted to go to pro wrestling, and before he started collecting toys and does whatever he does, and now he's.
There's something I'm going to get down to that also fucked up this movie, and what I mean by messed up the movie, I mean like messed up the big reveal.
So the lore thing, yeah, okay, I get it.
So this movie was a box office bomb. It didn't even recoup its $6 million because it was released. Obviously, it was.
All right, hold on.
$6 million on it?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
What was that?
I don't know, but that was creepy. We're keeping that shit in.
What was that?
I don't know.
Who's in the chat? Who are you?
I don't know. Let's check. Whew. All right, that was a little scary.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Going back to. So no. Anyway, Jonathan wanted to go to. I think it was Ralph Bakshi's. Do you know who Ralph Bakshi is?
You mean Ralph Macchio?
No, Ralph Bakshi was one of the main practical effects directors.
Oh, okay.
For George A. Romero and no, not George A. Romero. What's his name? Sex Machine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know Tom Savini.
Yes.
So it was Tom Savini's school. So Jonathan wanted to do that, and then he fell in love with pro wrestling, and he wanted to get into pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But that's when Jonathan and I actually really got into horror movies. But the funny thing about it is Jonathan and I were hooked up with CWF at the time, and that was with Josh the Show Killer. Now, at the same time, Josh the Show Killer and I would do kill scenes.
Okay.
For a movie, we wrote 3 scripts, right? But we'd actually take out the camcorder and go out to like a school or like a Denny's parking lot and do a kill scene.
Oh, okay.
And I was a really good victim, right? I could sell very well. So we would do a cutaway where you would see like long hair, and then but underneath would be like a melon, right? So you'd see it smash, you know. But it'd be wearing my clothes and stuff, and it'd be freezing cold at like 3 a.m. So we do all this shit. So that's what the beginning of this movie reminds me of, is me and my friends like making little horror shorts, if you will. Now they all wanted to do pro wrestling, which is great because they kind of actually go together. You know, how to sell, how to do this, how to do this. But you got to admit, the intro to this movie, the opening credits, is fucking fabulous.
Yeah.
I really do like it. I think B kind of annoys me a little bit.
Like, she's just too whiny or like too submissive?
She's just too like, I'm so dark and I can't believe Ginge, you know?
Yeah.
But their relationship starts, you know, we get to see their relationship and they're inseparable. They have a suicide pact. What is it? Dead by 16 and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, both of them have not yet had their period, and they are dreading becoming women. They want to be.
Right.
There's a very Peter Pan-ism here.
Okay.
If you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So finally, when Ginger gets her period, it just so happens she's attacked by a wild dog who is a werewolf.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the werewolf effects in this.
But like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think it was actually her starting her period.
You think the werewolf
It, like,
attack started it?
Oh, I guess she did, huh? Because then she got attacked.
No, they're like, you started. She goes, I started. And they're like,
yeah.
You just got attacked by a werewolf, bitch.
Right.
What do you think about the werewolf effects in this?
So, I mean, the beginning, like, I thought it was great that they didn't show a lot. You know, like, don't show the monster sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, you got little snippets and, like, that kept it cool. My biggest gripe is, like, with the full reveal. And it's a little underwhelming, I think.
So, the one thing I really liked about this movie is it wasn't you turn into a werewolf on the full moon. This was more of like The Fly or The Fly Part 2 where you slowly turn into a werewolf and there's nothing you can do.
And I know I've seen this before. I forget what movie it was. but they had like a slow transformation for it. And I want to say it was like a late 70s, early 80s like werewolf movie.
Do you think it was like Howling Part 2 or something?
Maybe something like that, yeah.
Well, the cool thing about this movie is it's not American Werewolf in London where it's a change and then he's normal again. It's like, no, she's changing like she's going through puberty.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot. And, like, we see her, we see Katharine, a.k.a. we see Ginge, and she starts, like, remember at first it's just a little teeth.
Yeah. Well, it was like the nails and then the teeth.
Yeah. And then
and the
her
hair.
In the hair, yeah, and she's shaving it off. And I like the fact that we actually see her coping with this adolescent hair growing in different places, nail, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it is a metaphor for that.
It was a little on the nose, but yeah, it was a metaphor.
And also the mom going, does it hurt here? Does it? She goes, oh my God, she's
my
finally,
baby.
My baby's finally becoming a woman. And the
dad's just like, I'm trying to eat lasagna.
Oh, fun fact about that. Did you know that the mom and dad in the movie are married in real life?
Oh, really? Okay.
And they're also in another show. I don't know which one it was, but they were actually married in that show as well.
Yeah, okay.
The fun facts are coming back to me. Dude, I scoured the internet for fun facts on this movie, and it's like, it is so cult that you cannot find much.
Right.
You just really can't. Here goes a really fun one. You know when Ginger is full on werewolf with the titties and everything?
Yeah, yeah.
So they had the guys that get you to set, right? And they're in white vans.
Okay.
So she gets a call on the radio to go to set, and she jumps into a white van. Well, it turns out it wasn't the white van. It was a random soccer mom with a bunch of kids, and they all just started screaming, "Ah!" And then Katharine just starts screaming, "Ah!" And they're just screaming, and they're like, "Ah!" And then she got out and ran out. Now, I wish they would have filmed that, because that would
have been amazing.
It would have been a great deleted scene. So, what do you? The main protagonist that's trying to save Ginge, Sam.
Yeah.
Was that the dude from Boy Meets World?
No.
It wasn't.
No, different guy.
Looks just like him.
Super similar.
Sounds like him too.
Yeah.
I was thinking, and then my wife's like, "That's not the guy," and I go, "That's the guy."
No, it's not.
Sounds
the guy.
just like, looks just like him. But anyway,
he was cool, like the nerdy bad boy, which is what I was mentioning before we started. Like, has kind of that faculty vibe.
Yes.
You know, you got the druggy burnout dude, but he's actually like crazy smart. And
man, I'm telling you, if you would have put Robert Patrick from The Faculty and from Terminator 2 in this movie would have fucking got 100%. If you would have made him the main werewolf, rather.
Oh yeah.
Like somehow. It would have done it. There's a lot of cheesy lines though when he's like, I think I ran something over. I think it was a lycanthrope. You know?
Yeah, and you're like, yo, you're just throwing that one out. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, so you know. So you're a drug dealer who just knows about the occult. Okay.
No, yeah, okay.
Favorite scenes.
Ooh, yeah.
First off, I really like the weird scenes, like her trying to tuck her tail, and she's like, "Come on, B, just tuck my tail."
Oh, like, she's like taping it up in the locker room.
Yeah. And also, speaking of locker room, the murder of the janitor. That's a pretty cool
was
scene.
brutal. Yeah, that was cool.
And then when they finally get that jealous bitch in their house, and
that's one of my favorite scenes where she falls and slams her head.
And she goes, "It's okay, Daddy. It's just corn syrup."
That was creepy as fuck.
That was creepy as shit.
That was probably the creepiest fucking scene in the whole movie.
So get this. Katharine Isabelle said that was her most natural scene. It's okay, Daddy. It's just corn syrup.
Yeah, I'm like, you are psycho. And also, when are we hanging out?
Yeah. She's welcome on the cutting room floor anytime.
Anytime.
I will even give her a taser just in case. It's like, I know we love you, so here's a defense taser, and I promise you won't have to use it, but hopefully I could talk you out of it.
Probably on Zach.
No, I'd be so I'd just be in the corner like, hey, it's good to see you.
You're like, welcome
to the knife party. Yeah, it's good to have you.
Please rewind me.
Hey, remember the time that you were like, oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, I love that they stashed the girl in the freezer.
Oh yeah,
that was so dope.
What about the mom finding the fingers in the garden?
Yeah.
When she's gardening and she's like, do 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 do. Well, I guess I'll just have to blow up the place and just and me and the girls will just move out and fuck that. And you're like, what?
Yeah, that was like one thing for me. Is like the whole time she has this very like 1950s stay-at-home mom vibe, And then out of the blue, she's like, yeah, all right, so we'll blow up the house. I don't care about your dad. Like psychoprotective.
Yeah.
And I was almost waiting for the mom to like come in at some point and turn into a werewolf herself.
It's funny you mentioned that. I was waiting for Ginger to kill the mom too.
Oh.
Or attack the mom.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's okay, baby.
Yeah.
Like something like that.
Right.
Kind of like, there's so many movies out there that do it where the monster actually attacks the creator because she's enabling, it seems like she's enabling Ginger at a certain point.
Oh, well, she's enabling both of them, yeah.
So, by the way, another thing that really got me Lost Boys vibes was their kind of their bedroom, how it's like the way it's lit and how they have their beds together and
I honestly kind of got like Boondock Saints vibe.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like disheveled because they have like the home repairs going on and like basic beds and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, interesting, like very kind of minimalist.
Yeah, okay, I can get that. I will say this though. The design of the house and the design first off, the weird thing about the design of the house is it looks exactly like, and I'm not even fucking bullshitting you. Mm-hmm. I think this was filmed in Concord, California. I know it was filmed in Canada, but
yeah,
Jonathan's dad had the exact same layout in their house, except for the basement and the attic.
Okay.
But the kitchen looked exactly the same. The island was in the same place.
Yeah.
And I remember watching this going, what the fuck? Even where the pantry was.
Yeah, okay.
The scene with the pantry with the stewed tomatoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very, very, very similar. But no, this is all filmed in the same place. But no, that was very interesting. I really do like too the aesthetics in this movie but one thing I think this was missing, and you mentioned the faculty. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been really cool if they would have had a werewolf scene in like a gymnasium.
Okay, yeah.
Like her chasing down. Like instead of the final scene being in the house, why wasn't the final scene like? One thing about the faculty I love so much, and I do love that movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it until you turned me onto it, and then I gave it a second chance. I'm like, this movie's fucking awesome. Didn't even know Eli Roth did it, but they should have involved the school more. Like, I really wish there was a scene, because there's so much scenes of them doing the field hockey.
Right.
I wish there was like a horror field hockey scene.
That would have been there was definitely a few times where I was waiting for Ginger or Bridget to just start wailing on the bitchy chick.
Well, that does
just
happen.
Start whooping her ass with the stick, not just punching her or whatever. I was like,
see, I think that it would have been better to have Bridget act out more.
Yeah.
If Bridget would to act out more to kind of like cover for
Ginger.
For Ginger.
Yeah.
I that's the one thing I think. She does try to do that where she says, "Oh no, it's me who's doing it." And she goes with
but that's like passive.
Yeah, it is. It's very passive. It would have been cool if she was more active in that. And I'm with you, and I agree with that. That's why, like, that's one problem I have with this. All the ginger scenes, though, are fucking fantastic. And by the way, let's just be honest with you. When she comes out in full werewolf white hair and everything else, and she's fucking with the guys, would or would not? And no judgment here.
Well, like her face, like at the Halloween party?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So I'm alone on this one?
A little bit.
A little bit? All right.
She was great up until that point, and I'm out.
By the way, it is allowed to like her in this movie because this movie did come out when she was 18 years old, and I was the same age, you're a little bit younger, so you can actually watch this movie and not feel guilty about liking her. So did you hear about, I call it the Wonder Years math?
You do what, half plus 7 or whatever?
No. That half plus 7, that's the thing. But no, what I'm saying is this. I just bought Leon the Professional. We're going to be doing that soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, am I allowed to have a tiny crush on Natalie Portman? Yes and no, and I'll tell you why yes and no. No, it's disgusting to think about her sexually, right?
Yeah, because, she's a kid.
But here's the Wonder Years math is Winnie Cooper was a year older than I was when the Wonder Years came out.
Okay.
So it's okay to go, yeah, she's cute. And it's okay to say that because at the time...
Well, yeah, because you're not saying it as, like, the first time you've seen it. It's more of a nostalgia thing. Like, you remember when you were a kid.
I had a crush.
Watch it. I mean, honestly, it's funny you bring a Professional. It's like, she was, like, one of my first crushes as a kid.
Crush. Like, so you're not like, I'm going to jerk off for that movie. No, it's like, that's disgusting.
Definitely not. It's not at all.
It's like, no, but when you see her smoking a cigarette with her little, like, feet dangling, you're like, oh my God, she's so cute.
You're like like that memory pops in your head of like, man, she was really cute.
And you were like in 6th grade going, man, if I would hang out with that girl.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Natalie Portman are the same age.
No, you were younger. You're younger than Portman.
No, we're the same age. I mean, she's like a few months older or whatever. But
No, you're younger than her.
Am I?
Yeah. She's like a month or two older than me.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right, we'll look it up.
I'm calling you out on that one.
All right, we'll do it. Check it out. What?
So anyways, guys, Ginger Snaps. Definitely you need to see it if you haven't already.
Definitely. Now, they did make 3 sequels, believe it or not.
I saw that, and it made me disappointed.
Apparently, one of them is really good. So, all right, here we go. Natalie Portman, Israeli, by the way, actress. Let's see her birthday. 1981.
Oh, she is a lot older.
Told you. She's a Jew broad, born in the 80s.
Wow.
So, what's up, Natalie? Wait a minute. No, I take that back. Do not take that the wrong way, Katharine Isabelle.
No, it's too late. It's too late.
All right, you take Natalie. I'll take. I'll take my Canadian queen. But no, other things about this, I would like to say, great practical effects in this movie. The blood looks fantastic. The wolf effects, like, can you name a good werewolf movie besides American Werewolf in London? And this movie is up there, right?
Yeah.
Like, The Howling is pretty good. I think actually the only better werewolf effects of this movie would be, and it does is in Bram Stoker's Dracula 1992 when he becomes the wolf form.
Oh, okay.
Like when he's fucking Lucy.
Yeah.
Like that looks that looks real, right? This
wolf with Jack Nicholson.
Okay, please defend. Please defend. No, really, I want you to defend this. This came out in 1996.
Yeah.
And I love Jack Nicholson. You know this. I've actually never seen this movie.
Oh.
I've never seen it. Please defend it.
So, I mean, yeah, obviously, werewolf movie, right? It's Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer, but it is like a romantic movie. It brings it back to the old like romanticism of the werewolf and all that. But yeah, especially a scene where it's like, I don't think they're actually like doing it, but it's like heading that way, and he like starts to turn, and it's old school. So he's got like the big sideburns, but like the teeth and the yellow eyes, and it's like one flash to another.
I just heard it was really bad.
No,
it's not bad.
It's not really bad.
No, I mean, dude,
it was pretty big at the time.
It was big because you know why? They were trying to restart the genre. So they did Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah.
They did
the Hollywood monsters.
They did Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which actually was good.
That was
with
good.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah, right.
With Robert De Niro, that was actually a really good movie.
Good, yeah.
And then they did Wolf, and then finally they did The Mummy. And The Mummy was the best out of all of them.
Was The Mummy actually part of that whole series?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
It was. It just, the licensing got sold from company to company.
Oh, okay.
But the script was the same.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, The Mummy, the funny thing about The Mummy was it was originally written by, guarantee you're not going to believe me, but look it up, Wes Craven.
Oh.
And then George A. Romero.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I kind of like the version we got better.
I do too.
Yeah.
Because I saw their scripts on The Mummy, and it was more of a weird, creepy guy inherits a museum and tries to resurrect a female mummy to have sex with.
Ew. That would have been terrible.
Whereas we got Brendan Fraser being a badass.
Yeah.
And a fucking awesome action adventure for the whole family.
Yeah.
And believe me, I really think, like, don't get me wrong, I love Bram Stoker's Dracula. I like how gothic it is.
Yeah.
I like the art. I like the music. I like even the Eurythmics doing all the music. And the blood scene is, I have to turn away from it. That's how gruesome it is. You know, they have the blood transfusion scene. That scene still gets to me. Also, it's got Carrie Elwes in it. It's got all these great people in it. Gary Oldman, of course. And then we add Frankenstein, and Frankenstein wasn't bad. And then we had a Wolf, and Wolf tanked. But then we had The Mummy, and I don't care what you guys say about The Mummy. The Mummy is probably the best remake out of all those series of...
Yeah.
And Brendan Fraser is so fucking great in it. And there's a great scene when he just throws the chair and he goes, "Have a seat, Lenny." It's like one of the best scenes, you know. And then like, I love The Mummy. I love it.
Yes.
It's such a great movie.
I watch it, at least once a year.
We've covered it. Covered it. Oh shit. Okay, so final thoughts. We're about to go to After Dark, and we're about to watch Lord of the Rings, and
it's going to be some happy fun times.
It is. And but any final thoughts here on
Ginger Snaps?
On Ginger Snaps,
Snaps. Yes, the final words of the evening. I mean, overall, definitely a fun movie. It's got, it's dark. It's got like hints of The Craft, hints of Faculty,
hints of Lost Boys, and also hints of The Craft, most definitely. Hints of the humor of American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
But does it tie it all together? No. But does it do a goddamn good, fucking honest? I think if you take Katharine Isabelle out of this, it's not as great. I think no. Here's what I mean. I think the mom is great. The dad is great. I think the dude that is from Boy Meets World, that's not from Boy Meets World, but do we think?
Sam,
I think B ruins it a lot.
No. Well, I don't know if she ruins it. Like, she kind of becomes, a badass. But, yeah, it does kind of pull away a little bit.
I think her story, I think if they would have been more, I think it would have been have the mom more involved and have Katharine more involved.
Yeah.
It would have been a better movie. But
well, because Bridget is basically the main character of it all,
but
is weird.
Yeah, no, she is, and there's 3 movies actually in the series. I will say this though, for a movie about like
change.
Well, I was about to say change. This movie is actually about, how Lost Boys is about male pubescence. This is about female pubescence.
Yeah.
I think they nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not a girl, but I've been married to one for a long time. Last time I checked. And no, it really does nail it. And the story is super great. And like when she's just like, I just want to rip shit apart.
Yeah.
It's like, I know when, I've been around like girls in their, I was in my teens and girls around their teens and they're hormonal. I want to rip shit apart. It's like, I get it.
It's definitely a thing.
It's definitely a thing. So I don't know. I love this movie. This is a yearly watch for me. I fucking love it. It's great. Katharine Isabelle kicks ass as per usual. But most importantly, I'm not even talking about like watching a movie about like, oh, that girl's hot or whatever. This movie has great practical effects, and this movie really does tell like the teenage angst. Like, it really does do it well.
It does a good job of that, for sure.
It does, and there's not a lot of movies that do that. I mean, like I always quote Lost Boys and Craft, and that I think if you were to put the best teenage angst movies, I think it would be in order Lost Boys, Craft, and then this.
Okay.
And my wife was just watching 16 Candles today, and I was watching it, and I was like, this got nothing on Ginger Snaps. You know what I mean? It's just like, it doesn't. And teenage angst movies are awesome. Because we've all been there, and like, I mean, most of us started watching movies in our teenage years. This is one of that should not be forgotten. This was one that should be celebrated. This is a fucking awesome movie. I stand by. So what are we gonna give it officially? Can I put a stamp? I know you gave it in the 80s.
Yeah.
I gave it in the high 90s. Can we give it a 92 stamp of approval? Like, or is that too high or too low? 92 sound good?
I'd be cool with like 90.
Can you compromise on 91?
All right, fine. 91.
91. All right. All right, let's give it I think 91 it deserves.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for
As
joining
always,
me.
bro.
Yeah. And stay tuned if you are a Patreon member for After Dark. We're going to fucking watch The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
All right. There can be only one.
There can. All right. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out, man.
Yeah.